Hello and welcome to Tuner Tips by todderbert. In front of us we have the Geartist model number G301. This is a 300 watt portable power station. I found this on Amazon for a total of $149.99 at Amazon. I've been looking at these for quite a while. There's different brands. You guys know there's tons of them. There's name brands like Goal Zero, Jackery, some of the ones I can think off the top of my head. And this one here, I've seen this a few times. I was on their website because I was looking at their radios and their flashlights. I picked up a couple of those and reviewed, as you saw. And it just stood out like, hey, this might be something I want. And my wife saw this while I was browsing and said, yeah, get something like that. I'd like to have that in the house. I'm like, okay, wow. That was a big surprise. So here it is. Great product, good price, and let's get to it. So the box is too big to bring out on the counter here. It's just doesn't fit dimension-wise. But they pack it real nice. Everything's protected well. It's in a bag, has styrofoam ends on it. And there's even protective film on this area here. They took great care on protecting their product till it gets to your hands, which is awesome. And it comes with some cool accessories. So let's first talk about the power station a little bit, show you the accessories, then we'll demo the unit. So the dimensions on this is 10 inches across, or 9 inches with the handle, and we have a depth of 4 5/8 of an inch. So that's the width of the unit. We'll talk about all those cool ports there that you just saw. Pretty awesome. I love that. So let's set this aside and we're going to bring out the little stuff that it came with. Yeah, I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. Probably have to bring it back up. So first few things I noticed in the box were some DC sockets. This is to plug in one of the DC ports, so you have access to plug-in devices for DC. Now, I know a lot of the units had these pre-installed. I think the reason why Geartist left theirs off is to make it more of a narrow profile, maybe easier to carry dimension-wise. But this isn't a big deal because I don't use a lot of this, and I could probably get a little bag or something and tie it to the handle and have this in the bag. I'm thinking that's what I would probably do. So there's that. Now this interesting one is the male plug, and I believe this is to charge the unit. Plug this into your car and plug this into the DC input. The DC input says it accepts 19 volts. Of course, your car is producing about usually 13.8 or 12 volts out of the outlet here. And I think it's going to accept that because it can also accept solar charging too. So yeah, you have 3 ways to charge your power station on the go, which is great. That, and of course, that third option is an AC option. If you stop at a hotel, you can plug this in. This is like a laptop battery charger. This is a 19 volt, 3 amp. I don't know if I can get that on there. The writing's always small. It's high gloss here. So you guys could probably read that. Class 2 power unit, it says. And yeah, I don't know if this shows polarity there or not. There it is. There's polarity. So yeah, center pole, positive, good. Negative sleeve. And then, yeah, this is a 19 volt, I believe, output. So there it is. And then when you plug it in, a little green light comes on, say it's active. Here's your AC appliance cord. That plugs in that side. Okay, so that charges it, I believe, in about 4 to 5 hours. Not bad for a big battery pack like that. And then, of course, we have the user manual. Yay. Always nice to have. Yeah, I'm going to bring this down. Bring it back up when we go to demo the unit. So, yeah, user manual. The really cool thing I like about this is it has a flashlight, too. Yes, portable light source for light waves. I was thinking, should I call it light waves? But it's actually a power station, so it does a lot more than just produce light. You guys can read this here. I'm trying to do this on camera. Thanks for purchasing portable solar generator power station. Well, there's nothing solar on it, but I think it means it's solar. It can be solar charged, which is really handy in the field. This is a great field use thing. Like if you're going off the grid, you're going camping, and you want to keep your radios charged, your flashlights charged, your iPads, iPhones, if you can't leave those behind, definitely. Here is the specifications. Now, when I was looking at the box and I was looking at the paperwork here, it's different and there's different discrepancies. I tested all these and I'll give you the results. But let's go ahead and look up close here. Model number, there's the capacity of the power pack inside. There's the rated AC power output. They're using lithium-ion batteries, probably 18650s in parallel, or series, probably series, and then divided out with a battery management system. It says charge input 19 volts, 3 amps, but of course they did mention 12 volt charging. You see here it says AC output. Okay, so I'll talk about the measurements I took in a little bit, but right here it says 5 volt, 3.1 amp. That should be 2.1 amp on that USB output. And there's 2 of them there. We'll talk about that. QC 3.0 output, it's showing 3 amp, 2 amp. Usually QC 3.0 equal, you also have the 12 volt, 1.5 amp. So I don't know why that's removed, but that's usually on QC 3.0. DC output, you have 12, it says 12 to 16.8 volts, 10 amp max. That's something you got to watch real carefully, what your device pulls on 12 volts if you're using any kind of RV equipment. Again, I'll talk about voltages that I tested. Type C output, that's about right. Same as QC 3.0, it should be the same. And you get the flashlight. So quite a bit here we're going over. Spend some time on that. There you go. It's got the pure sine wave output. A bunch of protections, which I'll go over. There you go. And yeah, just nicely done. It's got a cool display, which I'll show you. LED display, very simple. And there it is, in case I forget something. And more there. I think get through it pretty quick here. And how to use it. Yeah, how to provide power. Station tells you how to just single click the power button to access the USB modes and 12 volt modes. And idea is what you'd use it for. It says vacuum cleaner, inflation pump, electric wrench. So anything you'd use in a car or auto, RV. Pretty neat setup. USB, of course, smartphones, cameras, and I think the AC portion they were talking about, which I thought was interesting, a CPAP machine. Okay, they never thought of that. And a fish tank, too. They talked about keeping a fish tank running. Now, for a fish tank, I would use a UPS, like a computer UPS, an uninterruptible power supply. But this could be used also. But this is more of a portable device, which is nice. And charge the solar panel. So there you go. You get the solar panel hooked up to it. Pretty neat setup. Okay. And a bunch of warnings there at the end. So there's the manual. Let's get back to the unit. Oh, yeah. This thing weighs about 7 pounds, by the way. So it's kind of beefy. I'm going to bring this back up so I don't smack the camera when I'm moving around. I'm going to get louder probably because I brought the mic closer to me. So yeah, I like the build quality. It's ABS plastics. The end units here are really strong, protecting the jacks, which is really good. This part is a little lighter duty plastic, so don't go smacking this part around. It'll protect your panels. But the sides are definitely protected. You can actually stand the unit on its side if you have to. I love it. I love how strong this feels and how hefty. And yeah, it's just a beefy unit. So let's go ahead and start talking about some features of the Geartist G301. Okay, so we're going to flip it to the left-hand side here. You notice we have a cooling fan. That's for the AC inverter. The intake is on the other side there. I'll show you those little intake holes. I was wondering where the air came in to cool the unit. So it cross-ventilates, which is nice. You got that there. You got some security screws holding that in. Again, this is really strong end plastics. There's your DC I talked about. Taking the 19 volt 3 amps on the AC. And of course your 12 volt in or your solar panel in. It's kind of nifty. I like that. Just pretty simple barrel setup there. All right, so on the front, yes, we got some fun things here. You can see some labeling, which pretty much corresponds to the ports over here. So I don't know why these should be probably over on this side, but that's just me. Over here we have the AC button. When you press and hold this, it activates the AC mode. Now the inverter is running, showing you battery level, showing AC out. I could demo that right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug the lamp next to me. There we go. Here is the lamp cord, and I'm going to plug that into the... There's 2 AC on this side. Let me show you. So you got a normal, like, 2-prong and a grounded outlet. So I'm going to plug it into here. This is a 60-watt bulb, no LED. Let's get this going here. There we go. So now we're running my lamp off the power of the unit. Not bad. Loving that. So while that's plugged in, yeah, you can see it's showing that readout, which is nice. And of course, you just power this. Turns the light off. Okay, well, I guess we'll plug that back in the outlet. So neat to demo. This is a fun device. I really like having this. You know the reason why? Because, you know, these little power banks here, they last pretty good, pretty portable. But if you're really off the grid and you really need some capacity, you're going to want to go with something like this. So we're going to talk about the capacity in a moment. So yeah, there's the AC portion. I want to show you that. That was cool. So the DC portion, we just press this once. If you notice, battery light comes on. It says the USB 5 volts, QC 3.0, Type C, and then that's your DC for 12 volts. That little symbol there. I think it shows like underneath the numbers. Yeah, it does really quickly, then it flashes away. Not a big deal. I think it shows what's in use as you plug it in. So yeah, nice, easy to read. I haven't tried it outside yet, but I'm sure you could just go like this and read it. It's a pretty bright screen. Okay, we'll turn that off for the moment. Yeah, I liked how they had a plastic thing protecting this. That was really nice. It says 300 watt right here. Not bad. See, make sure I got everything there. There's a fault icon, a little warning icon there. That was in the book. Okay, right here. It's got the something happens. There's a failure. And then there's the LED light. When we turn the light on, I'll show you the light. Light's cool. I love that it has a light. All right, so yeah, you know about we're talking about the AC button. So long press for AC. Get in AC mode. 300 watts is what they're saying, and peak at 500 watts. Pure sine wave output. The white LED display. Battery level indicator. AC out. Warning fault icon. You saw all the DC stuff. When you go DC here, you just short press the power button to get access to that mode. So let's go ahead and go to this side, right hand side. I love the yellow and black, by the way, if you didn't know. Let me get this on camera here. Jeez. These cool ports. So there's the venting for the inverter, and the inverter is probably this top portion, and the batteries are probably down below that. So you have your two AC outlets. Again, don't overload this. I would use minimal AC power driven things like low power. In a pinch, like if I didn't have a computer power source, backup power source, I would use this for my cable modem. Use a power strip, plug my cable modem in my router, and then we could use this to charge our iPhones and iPads and still stay on the internet, which is nice. So we got this protective plastic. Then down here is where all the business happens. You'll see it says USB 1, USB 2, QC 3.0. You got DC out, and Type C. Okay, as you saw some of those stated voltages in that, I tested this with devices. I have my little USB meters, and I was able to get the skinny on what these ports are. So USB 1 and USB 2, they tested at 5 volts, 2 amps. That's running both together. So it doesn't like one takes away from the other. They'll both provide 2 amps, 5 volt. It's amazing. So you can definitely charge up stuff pretty quickly with that. QC 3.0, I was only able to test the 5 volt and the 9 volt section. So it does 5 volts at 3 amps. And it does 9 volt at 2 amps. And I'll try to show that on camera. Type C does all three. DC output, I tested these. I got 12.48 volts without a load. So something to think about. I didn't really have much to test on a 12 volt. But each one provides 12 volt out, which is nice there. Loving that. If I remember, I'll put the little pop-up here what size that barrel is, so you guys know for making your own little cables. All right, so let's see if I cover anything else on that. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and plug some stuff in. We're going to demo that after I get done talking about the whole package here. So inside this, well, actually, I should go to the back side. The back side is pretty cool. Yeah, this is the light panel. This has 30 LEDs in an array. They're like a cool white thing. I'll just turn it on. It's going to blind my camera. Long press. So you got high. Press it again, you get low. Press it again, you got SOS. And press it again, and you get a flasher. Again, not a cool thing. I mean, not a cool thing. A very cool thing to have built in to a power source like this. I mean, it should have a light if it's got all this extra real estate on the back side. I mean, that's amazing. I love that. And it's very useful. It'll light up a room, no problem. So there we are. And now let's talk about the battery, and then we'll get to demoing this thing. So internal battery, they're using lithium batteries, probably 18650s, like in a big pack. I've seen people build them. It's pretty interesting how they do it. I'm a little nervous on doing that, so I wanted to buy a finished product. So the 18650s, they add up to be about 78,000 milliamp hour. So that's quite a bit. That's 250 and I believe 88 watt hours. That's a lot, you know, compared to like my little 1500 right here. You know, that's just amazing capacity. So that's what's running that AC inverter. That little dude, there's no way this could run an AC inverter. No way at all. Let's see what else we got here. So it has all the protections, as you saw: overcharge, over discharge, over current, short circuit protection, all for the main battery. You want that safety. If you didn't have that protection, you could have a big fire hazard here. And also over temperature protection, probably hence the fan. Fan kicks on when it gets a little warm, I'm sure. They say not to cover it. Makes sense, so it can have that ventilation. So there's that. So let's go ahead and demo this. So I'm going to go ahead and just, I guess, so it's up here. Maybe I can get it like this. You guys can see me plugging stuff in. Yeah, we'll do that. So the first thing I want to show you is this XSense power bank. This is pretty cool. This uses power delivery, PD, so it can charge really fast. This charges at the 9 volts at 2 amps. I want to show that this can provide that. So we're going to plug it in. I got this little simple meter because my other meter won't work. It faces that way. So we're going to plug it in here, the Qualcomm section. And then we're going to click that power button right here. And then we'll see what it charges at. So right now we're charging. It's going to switch modes. Okay, so first it was charging at 3 amps. Now it went to 9 volts and 1.5 amps to charge the XSense. So you can see it's charging there. Now the cool thing is just leave it go. Let it charge. Yay, it's charging. Other cool thing is I have an iPad. And so we'll bring that in the picture. So we got the iPad. And yeah, I'll plug this in. The USB 1 provides 2 amps. That's nice. I don't have another meter to show you, but I was able to test it with the other meter. I'm plugging that backwards on camera. Okay, there it is. So you can see that it's charging this. I can bring that to camera here. Yeah. Come on, wires. So they get it in the camera. Okay. I'm trying to get to orientate. If you look here, there it is, rail battery icon. It is doing it. Okay, so we know it's charging the iPad. So we'll set that down. And then let's see, what else do I got? Let's push this thing to the max, right? I'm going to have to grab, I got stuff all over here. I got the Submarine 1, yes, by the same company. This is a really cool emergency radio. I like it. I've been carrying it every day on my walks. Oh, it's this little guy here. The orange guy. So we're going to go ahead and just set him, I don't know, like by the power bank there. There you go. Then we'll plug it into the last USB port. And then we'll check to see what's going on with that meter, see if it's drawing anything extra from it. So now we're charging, which is cool. And so everything is charging right now. And then we'll just look at the meter here and see what it's drawing. Still drawing the 9 volts at, I'd say, 1.5 amps. There you go. Not bad. So there it is. So you can do quite a bit, have all your stuff going, liking this, especially for radios. If you're on the go, you can hook up your Skywave, your XH data, everything can be going. I mean, that's probably your best bet if you're doing long term. You can also bring a small charger like the X-Star I reviewed. If I remember, I'll put a link here. And you can power from this, and you can charge up nickel metal hydrides, all your lithium batteries, if in a pinch if you need to. So there it is. Okay, so I'm just going to unplug some of this stuff here. And yeah, do some final thoughts. Oh yeah, the QC warmed up a little bit. I'm like, what's warm in my hand? So we're going to go ahead and just move some of this stuff aside here. Give me a moment. I'm going to go off camera here and just slide this off out of the way so we don't run it over. And we're going to bring the Geartist back in the camera. There we are. Yeah. So the biggest deal, I think, is the emergency AC power. Okay, cable. Get out of the way. Is this right here for CPAP machines. That's very important. I never thought about helping it with the medical. And of course, fish tanks and things like that require emergency power. Very handy to have the AC. If you're going portable when you're going off the grid, typically you'd be using these here. This is more efficient than using the inverter. You're going to burn through the batteries pretty quickly if you're using any kind of heavy load on the AC. Just keep that in mind. But over here, you're going to do pretty good using the USB outputs. You start using DC at 10 amps, you're going to also drain the battery pretty fast. So keep that in mind. Also, you may want to invest in some solar panels. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to invest in solar with this bad boy. My wife likes the idea. That is, again, a surprise. She's supporting me on this power thing, which is awesome. I think she likes the idea of having something in the house for backup. It's portable, and I'm with her on that. So we're going to pick up some solar panels. Maybe I'll try to do a little review on those also. You know, one thing I didn't do is show you the size comparison. There we go, CC Pocket. Yeah. Can't really charge it directly, but you can take the batteries out and charge it. Nice. We have Iron Man. He's the man with the master plan. He loves Geartist power stations from China land. There's a deck of cards. What an idea. Yeah. So it's like a little briefcase. The handle's pretty nice. It's a beefy handle. I wish it was a soft grip. This is, I guess, good if you're wearing gloves. You're not going to slip when you're carrying this. But if you're just bare-handing it, it would be nice if it was a smooth grip or like a padded grip. I would like that better. But that's just me. Little things. So I think I covered everything about this device. Yeah, I think it comes with an 18-month warranty. That's also a bonus, if you're wondering. And there is this same model out there with different companies, but I'm going with a company that's been around. Geartist actually owns a few other companies on Amazon, so you can definitely buy with confidence in their product, so you don't have to worry about that. Definitely, if you're wondering, oh, should I buy the name brand, Jackery unit or the Glow Zero unit? But those are like for the same kind of what you get. They're easily $100 more. So I kind of went this route, and I'm really happy that it seems to work really well. Like I said, I don't know if I mentioned, but the AC power, when I plugged in the 60-watt bulb, I was measuring AC current. I get 110 out, and when I plugged in the light, I get 109. So it drops 1 volt on the AC power. So just letting you know, on a 60-watt load, I didn't mention that, but there you go. But all the USB stuff working great. So there it is, the Geartist G301 gets recommended buy, especially if you get this at $150. I mean, that's a great price, $149. I kept seeing it for like $180 to $200. That's an average price that you'll see competitively out there for a similar device. I think I saw one almost the same with like a different color scheme. So they might be, universal and then branded by the companies, and then of course warranted by the companies. But yeah, not a bad setup. Like in the yellow and black, looks really nice, easy to find if you put it somewhere, like if you're on a campsite. Just don't let it get wet. They say it's dust proof, which is pretty cool to say, but make sure it doesn't get wet. I can imagine that wouldn't be a good thing for this. So they don't say anything about moisture resistance, so definitely keep it out of the rain. If you can, keep it covered from the rain. That is it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this review of the Geartist G301. Give me a big like if you did. 2, if you like these type of products, power banks, like, where'd that dude go? Yeah, I got all over the place. The Xsense 1500, if you like these more portable ones, smaller ones, you want to see those reviewed, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, get notified of future videos with products like this. And of course, 3, comment down below what you think about the Geartist G301. Would this be something you'd buy? A 7-pound, pretty much battery on the go. That's what you're buying here. Lithium powered too, by the way. They say temperature ranges between 10 to 30 Celsius. I imagine you can go below freezing and be okay because lithium power can handle that typically. So yeah, I like the idea of lithium. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, better than lead acid batteries in my case. I would like this better, definitely. And lighter weight. Lighter weight is always good. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in my next video.